Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, biggest gob in sport. Today we're joined by Terry. He should be on any second. I don't know what's the matter with him today. Come on, Terry, what's happening? Where are you, lad? Here we go. Here's Terry. Women love him, men want to be him. How are you? Have I muted you, Terry?
I'll unmute myself. It's all right.
All right. No, I've just unmuted you.
Ah, okay.
Are you all right?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm all right. What have you been up to?
Listen, as they say in South Yorkshire, grafting, man. I've been on graft, pal. Been on graft.
Guess which interview I've got it morning, 9 o'clock.
Peter Fury.
Nah. Jeff Hines.
Oh.
How's about that one?
Hey, listen, when you speak to him, ask him what he's doing for Carnival this year.
Ask him what he's doing for what?
For Carnival this year.
What, London Carnival?
Yeah.
Why do you go to it?
So it's only up the road. So, I pop in and out, mate. Little 60 minutes in and out.
Where's that? Notting Hill?
Yeah.
Wow. Are you into all that, Terry? A lot of weed gets smoked at them carnivals, I've heard.
Yeah, it does. How do you summarize Carnival? The thing is, there'll be Tommy Robinson fans listening to this that assume it's just like, people just get stabbed all the time. It's not like that, mate. It's nice. It's a bit packed. Like, I feel sorry for anyone who's under 5'3" when it gets a bit heavy, because you can't see anything. It must be pitch black down there. But yeah. It's a nice day out, really. Do you know what I mean, Russ? It's just nice and relaxed. If you can find the space and just have a little dance, you got a couple of cans with you, just relax. It's nice.
Nick Manners goes to Leeds one every year.
I used to like the Leeds one as well.
I've been to Nottingham one. That's a good one.
Yeah, well, listen, they had like a special Porky stage.
Yeah, I bet. Have you heard up from Rico?
Yeah. He voice noted me. I'm seeing him on Saturday, so yeah, it'll be good.
He's not bothered about YouTube no more, is he? Or boxing?
Nah. There's nothing for him to get excited about when it comes to boxing. He's just like, whatever.
He's a bit like Julian, isn't he? Just pissed off with it, I think.
But remember, he's been on this journey where so much was promised and so little was delivered. So he's like, well, why am I wasting my time? Yeah.
Yeah, I see where it's coming from, mate. I'm like that myself at the moment.
Yeah. If you weren't doing videos, Russ, how much boxing would you really watch?
None. I'd fight. I won't watch as much as I used to. I don't watch as much now. It takes me ages to catch up because my job's basically you're researching for 4 hours a day. You're only filming for less than 2. Probably less than that, even less, probably an hour or an hour and a half. But at least the research is the time.
People don't appreciate that, Russ. They you know what? Like people just go, all you lot do is just sit in front of a microphone and talk about boxing. And they go, I could do that. And I go, you could do it once. You could do it 3 or 4 times, yeah? But there's going to come a point when there's nothing left in your brain that's original. We've heard it all.
Exactly.
Then what?
Do you remember when Max said, I could do that what you're doing? And I went to a studio in Leeds, which cost me a fortune. But he would...
Wait, hold on. What did he go?
He came with me, Max. He came with me. And at the end of it's the Helmets of the Month, August, I think, a couple of years ago. I said, go on then, Max. At the end of the video, Max wanted to do it. So I turned the camera on, got him in front of the green screen and that. And he couldn't even get in at number 10. He couldn't even do it without fucking up, because it's harder than what you think. When I first started doing it, I was all over the place. But now, after 3,500 videos, I think I'm all right.
Look, as a wise man once said, listen, if Porky Russ can do these videos, I'm sure I could easily do one
I mean, when
myself.
I said if Chris Pedler can be a trainer, I can. I
Mate, you
didn't
know,
mean
like,
that as a dig at Chris. I meant it as the fact that Chris has had to work at his craft, and I think if I worked at that as my craft, like Chris has,
mate,
I think I'll
mate.
pick it up.
You know what, Russ? There's no explanation you can give that will make it funnier than it was at the time. That might be one of the funniest videos I have. Is just of that moment of you sat on your bed.
Laid on my bed. So there, if Chris can do it, I can.
And then the exchange you two had was wow, that was brilliant.
You know, listen, mate. Yeah, we fell out, didn't we, for fucking a bit, like. Chris,
Mate, mate, some of those voice notes, because I might still have them somewhere. Some of those voice notes, oh my god, that was into like Godfather territory.
there were people running around with guns, mate, and shooters.
Yeah, it was wild.
Knives and what? You know, like up there.
Yeah, no, that was wild. I was like, wow, is this where it's got to?
What's the most spat I've had with Chris in 10 years?
Yeah,
Oh, he's all right, Chris.
yeah.
But listen, sometimes he took it wrong way, and I reacted. I said, "What are you fucking on about?" He said, "I thought you were my pal. Who are you fucking talking to?" They caught me at fucking wrong moment as well.
Yeah.
I just
But
had
you
a
do
big...
fly off the handle. You do fly off the handle.
Oh, I don't fly off the handle. Let me tell you this, mate. Right? We're in Dennis's house, and Dennis were saying, "Oh, you need to fucking have a word with Liam. I'm going to get him in. I'm going to put Liam in with Curtis Woodhouse." I go, "What? What a super middleweight in with a welter?" He goes, "Now we're going to meet him in middle." You know what Dennis is like. So me and Dennis had a bit of a spat over that, and I left Dennis. I was in a right vile mood, and then he rung me and he went, "I thought that were my pal. What are you on about?" He said, "Oh, I've just seen your video." I said, "I didn't mean out by it. I thought I just meant I'd stick at it and get my trainer's license like you. I didn't mean I'd be a better trainer than you, Chris, because the best trainers are usually the most experienced, aren't they? But I figured that I could get my trainer's license and have a go. You know what I mean?"
Mate, no. But you're 0 to 100, Russ. Yeah. See, people don't know this, right? Like you're 0 to 100. Like you hit play on the voice note, you're like, where the hell did that come from? Like, what was I remember? I remember once bumped into Peter Fury at a chat, and I voice noted you. I was like, Russ, just bumped into Peter Fury. We had an interesting chat. He says he'll see you soon, right? That's all I said.
Huh?
And then, like, honestly, I've sent you a voice note and I've just gone to get myself a chicken burrito. On God, I've just put the phone in my pocket to go and get some food. I see there are 3 voice notes from you.
Well, I bite easy me, don't I?
mate, you got progressively more angry and paranoid with every voice note. I'm like, what?
You know, this doorman years ago, he came up to me and he flicked me chain. I said, "Don't do that, mate. I'll have to put one on you." So he flicked it again. So I put one on him. He didn't move. I'm about 11 and a half Clement time. I stuck another one on him and he still didn't move. I thought, here we go. Next thing, I'm fucking flying through air up these, not downstairs, up fucking stairs. He was that big, he threw me up the stairs. And I hurt my shoulder. Luckily, I had one of my pals with me and he fucking gave him a good hiding, but I bite right easy sometimes. I don't so much now, but I did then. But I just thought you were being funny. I mean, that to me is like spitting in your face. You know, it's going to be kind of flicking your chain. So that's a big chain. You know, that big thing I had with anchor on it, weighed about kilo, wasn't it? No, at 515 gram it was. Kept flicking it. I thought, whoa, I won't have that, me. And sometimes you just got to stand your ground, don't you?
Nah, 100%.
But Chris was bang on. So, other than that, I'm all right. Is your mum all right?
Mum, cool, spoke to her yesterday. Man, she was in good spirits. We got 30 minutes of conversation, and obviously I spoke for about 30 seconds. But yeah, it was all good.
Good man. Good man. Right. I've picked us a few topics to talk about. Just to, I think there's 9 or 10. Right. We've all seen the Fury Usyk fight. We know what happened. Is anybody from that camp just going to come out and admit, look, he got beat, right? Nobody's coming out. Tommy Fury's screaming robbery. Father is, and all the rest of them. Gareth A. Davis can see a draw, but he had it Usyk a split decision. So even he had to go with narrative, didn't he? What do you think of it all, that, Terry?
I think I said it at the time. It was a 7-5 fight to me, right? For Usyk. I could understand you splitting the round 6-6 and then Usyk wins on that knockdown. It's kind of in that ballpark for me. Like it's Usyk by 1 or Usyk by 3, isn't it? Like that's how it feels to me. But the fight was close enough to warrant a rematch. The real question is whether Fury really wants the rematch. And then you ask yourself, will the body actually take the rematch?
Will his nose be able to take it? Because I've heard that he's been shoving lots of Chino up it in the last few weeks. No, we're going to
that.
Won't we?
Look,
well,
we were talking about this in the gym the other day, and I just said, at no point has it occurred to Fury that lifestyle is going to catch up to you. Like you can't keep trying to get away with this idea that you're somehow that much better than everyone else that you don't have to try, and you don't have to be dedicated, and you don't have to be on weight, and you don't have to work on your craft.
That, didn't he?
Yeah. Now, because if you think about this, Russ, let's be real. Like Spencer Fearon would say, let's be real. He's not that good. Okay? He's not that good. And people say, oh, what are you on about? If you look at Tyson Fury and take his skills and attributes, now make him 6'4", 6'3", he's not having the career that Usyk had. He's just not. He's going to get battered about. He's going to get put down. He survived a lot because he's big. Size got him a long way. Do you remember when he fought the Canadian guy and he got dropped with a right hand? Nevin Pakitic, whatever his name was. Do you remember that? He got splattered, Russ. Got put on his back by a guy who wasn't very good. He was basically just another Caballero, but not as good as Caballero. And Fury fought him for the Commonwealth thing. Got put down in the second, stopped him in the third. He got hit by a dipping overhand right, Russell.
Yeah.
When you're an elite guy, you're not getting hit with those kinds of shots. Not at 6 foot, wherever he was. No way. But he was bigger than the guy, so he could bully him. Steve Cunningham hit him with the same shot.
Yeah.
Like so where's this progress, this becoming a better fighter? If you're getting hit with the same shot, where's that progress? Every time someone throws a right hand at Tyson Fury, because he keeps his hand so low, and he's actually quite slow. So when little guys come at him, like that's what Usyk had to do. As soon as Usyk had the angle, he just went in with his right hand, knowing Fury wouldn't get his left up in time, and then just set about him. So when people say he's this elite superstar, I'm like, he's never fixed any of his weaknesses. The shots McDermott was hitting him with, every other pro is hitting with. He never figured out how to box a southpaw. Oh, but he beat Vladimir. He beat Vlad, who struggled against Brian Jennings.
Yeah.
Brian Jennings.
Vladimir was fatty when he fought him anyway, as slow as out.
Yeah. So this
Vladimir win and the Wilder win and Cunningham, the shite.
No. They're not shite. They're just not what people are telling us.
No, I mean about Cunningham with an old man and a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Up against a giant. Vladimir were there for taking 40-year-old. Fury were offered that 4 years before. He said no. Peter Fury will tell you that. They waited it out for Vladimir.
He would have got splattered.
Tennessee will tell you that.
He would have got splattered in 2012, 2013 if he had fought Vlad. Vlad would have splattered him.
Yeah.
He would have thrown that right hand and knocked Fury bandy. That would have been... We wouldn't have had all of this nonsense afterwards. Because, Russ, people forget. From 2008 to 2012, people didn't believe in Fury. It was like, nah, he ain't the guy.
Because he didn't fight David Price.
No, and even before that, he just never looked convincing. Do you remember? He never looked convincing. And until he fought Chisora, people thought Chisora was the better prospect. And then he beat Chisora, and he did it by outboxing him, and that was fair enough. But he had a massive height and reach advantage. All right, so he does that. And if he had fought Vlad at that point, he got splattered. But no one believed him at that point. And then after the Chisora fight, when he started making those David Haye noises, then it was like, okay, let's see what he's got. But he wasn't the favorite in that fight either. David Haye was the favorite. I remember Frank Bruno being surprised. Remember Frank they did the gloves are off. Do you remember that, Russ?
Yeah.
And Frank was like, yeah, you just got to keep him off with the donkey. I'm like, what the hell's the donkey? I'm like, who calls a jab the donkey?
What was Frank on about? Hitting him with his knob?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't, Russ.
What's he mean by donkey then? I don't know what. Because he used to call him Donkey Kong, didn't they? Or Donkey Cock or something.
I don't know. Well, you know, I don't know why people in boxing call people names like that. That's what I hate about boxing. It's full of knobheads like that. Just call him Frank. Do you know what I mean?
Big Frank.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he wasn't the favorite against Haye. And then if you look at it, when the Haye fight didn't go through, he was fighting guys like Joey Abel, and there was really nothing of note until he fought Vlad. And give Peter his due, and I think now we've got to give Peter Fury his credit. He was the one guy that got Fury to do what Fury needed to do. And Fury got out that fight with all the belts and his marbles intact. That's Peter Fury. History's shown that was Peter Fury.
Yeah. Well, I just wondered if he's going to check it, really. But the big news is, though, that they're saying that he's got rid of the whole team, aren't they now? A whole lot are gone.
Okay. Let's go back. This isn't unusual, right? So if you go back to, let's go back to 2008. It was Steve Egan training as a pro. Yeah. That didn't work out. Then who was it? It was McCracken. That didn't work out. Then it was Uncle Huey. That didn't work out. Someone else. They got the Canadian guy. Some random Canadian guy we don't even know. He did it for a bit while Fury was out in Canada and Detroit training with Emmanuel Stewart. Then he got Uncle Huey back in again. And then it all went a bit south with his old man.
Peter had 8 fights with him from 17th to 25th.
Yeah. And that was after his old man went in for poking out Othie Thingy's eye.
Yeah.
Right? So Fury's always...
Tyson were going off at rails, eating loads of jelly babies and Haribos and loads of junk before Peter took him on. I think the John McDermott fight shit him up because he wasn't fit. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah, and the thing is, look, in 5 years, he had, 5 or 6 trainers, Russ?
Yeah.
You don't get good. There's no consistency. That's why I tell you, he's not as good as people make him out to be. Imagine he had stayed with one trainer for at least the first 6, 7 years of his career. He'd be unbeatable. But he wanted to do it his way. So now he's got rid of all of those guys because he wants to do it his way. And that's what he's got in common with Joshua. They how can I put it? They don't believe in themselves, Russ. They talk a good game and they puff their chests out and they come out in the public, and the public love all that kind of false bravado because most people in the world are like that. Yeah, that's why these guys are their heroes. When it comes down to it, Tyson Fury's not a fighting man. Anthony Joshua's not a fighting man. It's not in them. Yeah, Joshua learned it in a weightlifting gym. Tyson Fury learned it in a boxing gym, but it's not who they really are.
Yeah.
That's it. And all this changing trainers, you change trainers because you got, oh my God, this guy's found out I'm not the man I said I was. Oh, let me get rid of him now before he gets rid of me.
Yeah. Who do you think he'll go to then?
It doesn't matter at this point. It genuinely doesn't matter at this point. You may as well just go to Dominic Ingle.
That's what I was saying to my man. People are saying Dominic Ingle or Pat Barrett around here. So that's what people are saying today.
Yeah, I'd go with Dom. I think Dom will understand him a bit better.
Well, Dominic will get him fit, won't he?
Yeah.
You can't teach him anything, can they? Because he can fight all styles, can't he?
No, he can't.
He can. He can fight southpaw. He can switch, can't he? He can do left,
No,
forward, backwards.
no, wait. He can't because he could have just done that against Usyk.
But why didn't he? Well, he was saying in interviews he can fight every style.
But he changed nothing in that fight. So,
Oh, I know he didn't, but we've seen every style from him over the years, haven't we?
not when it matters.
Well, no, because Usyk probably didn't let him do that style.
That's what I'm saying. So we got to separate. Russ, you put me in with an 11-year-old kid, I'll show you every possible style, right? Right? That's when I can do it. I can't do it against Joshua, but that's when it matters. So what can Fury do when it matters? People fell in love with him fighting all of these second-rate opponents and said, this guy's super skillful. Look at his best performances. Vladimir, he just didn't engage. Used his reach, just stayed on the back foot, circled around the ring, picked his points and said, right, just going to box us to a decision. Wilder, when he tried to be that super skillful, clever guy, and he fell into his old traps of keeping a low left hand, and what did he get dropped with again? A right hand. Then he came back and said, I'm just going to go back to basic boxing and hit Wilder with 1-2s. He stopped him by hitting him with 1-2s, really, and did the same in the third fight. He's not a master of all styles, man. He talks a good game. He's a 1-2 merchant, yeah? And then when he gets frustrated with that, he comes on the inside and throws uppercuts and hooks, and he's basic, man. He's not a man of many styles. Crawford is, like someone like Terence Crawford. Look at what Crawford does when Crawford sees a problem he can't solve orthodox. He goes southpaw and he solves that problem.
That interview on Pro Boxing that Usyk did a few months ago, he was with that Alex Krakoff, is it manager?
Yeah.
They were like stood there with vacant faces when they were asked about Fury and if it would be a problem. They were like laughing as if and then saying they respected Fury and all that. But I got the impression that they thought it was going to be a cakewalk, and it was, wasn't it?
No, wait, let's stop for a second. That was a hard fight for Usyk.
Well, apart from rounds 4, 5, and 6, he didn't really look in much trouble to me.
Remember that point where he got hit and he went running around the edge of the ring? Might have been round 6, Russ. He was 2 shots away from getting stopped. So Fury being this boxing genius he claims to be, the fact that he couldn't read that is a worry. Because he hit Usyk with a body shot. And I remember seeing it at the time going, oh my God, that's going to be the end of him. Jesus. I'm like, get him again. I was like, get him again. Nothing. I was like,
no, come back. It was like he didn't have it in tank, did he?
No. But after that 6th round, Usyk said, the only way I'm going to get this now is by going after him. By any means necessary, I'm going to go after him. Yeah. And he went after him. That's when you're a master of all styles, Russ, where you can go from what you normally do and you sit in a corner and you go, I'll go do something else. And you turn the fight in your favor. Fury doesn't do that. And he doesn't do it at the top level. That's for absolute sure. No, so we need to stop pretending that he's this elite guy who is Muhammad Ali, Golovkin, Loma, all in one. He's not. He's a big lump who, by his own admission, wasn't much of a fighter growing up. By his own admission, was the guy who'd cry if someone said something hurtful to him. By his own admission, was a shy, scared kid. That's your Luke Tyson Fury. Not the loud shirts, not the Batman costume, not the stuff at the press conferences. That's your Luke Tyson Fury. The guy who, you say the wrong thing to him, he gets super sensitive. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Just don't pretend.
What do you think to the people saying that he's never, ever going to fight Joshua? Do you think they'll ever fight?
Nah. I think his problem now is he's vulnerable. So what sparring partners are you going to get in that aren't going to set about him?
Yeah.
Yeah? And The reason I say this is I remember doing the David Haye comeback, Russ, and the first day I was there, I knew Haye was vulnerable. I saw David put Wadi Camacho down 4 times in a round. But these weren't devastating shots he was throwing. This wasn't the David I thought I was going to see in the gym. And so when he jumped in with my lads, I was asking him, what's it like in this? Like, it's not too bad. And I always say, just set about him a little bit, see what he can do. And David was vulnerable. And so you couldn't really set about him because his body couldn't take that sort of intensity. But you knew he was vulnerable.
I remember David Haye when he started his career, and he was explosive and lethally fast. When he was frighteningly powerful, wasn't
he? Yeah. And then once the back went, he wasn't. But what he showed was that he was a really intelligent boxer because he could adapt.
Yeah.
I don't know if Fury can adapt.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we? But it's not looking good for him. What do you think about him collapsing in that boozer?
It's hard to tell in the moment because that could just be a night. But like, you know, you hear the rumors that he was out Strawberry Gardens on the Friday. There are pictures on Instagram of him out on the Friday. So I'm like, he went out again on the Saturday, but you're a family man to how many kids? 7 kids.
Yeah.
You know, how are you out 2 nights in a row like that? That feels a little bit irresponsible, but I don't know all the details, so it's hard to judge. What we can't do is we can't apply normie logic. So we can't sit here and go, yeah, every man has a night out like that. You know, I've been like that. It's like, well, yeah, that's why we're not elite athletes. We're not elite athletes because we do stupid things like that. I can guarantee you one man wasn't doing that, and that was Usyk.
Yeah.
If I was in Fury's shoes right now, I'd be watching that fight and I'd be making up my plan. This is how I'm going to go after Usyk. I wouldn't even have a trainer at this point. I'd be like, nah, this is how I'm going to do it. And then when a trainer comes on board, if they don't have the same view and message as me, then it's a problem. But I'd make sure I was so prepared that when a trainer came, they couldn't question my level of dedication.
Yeah. Well, well, if it's going to be Dominic Ingle or Pat Barrett, I think he'll be in good hands, won't he?
Yeah, all he needs is someone to get him in shape, make sure he takes his medication before he fights, and just there for that first bell.
What about Terry? All them around him, because they had like, well, it's 16 or 17 entourage, right? So there's Fury and plus a rugby team are hangers on. What about the strength and condition man? These experts like Greg Marriott, you know, he deals with Kell Brook and people like that, doesn't he? And he didn't help Kell Brook when he fought Crawford or Spence. Did it or Golovkin and Tyson now's had him, hasn't he? And do you think these guys need to jog on out at sport? These strength and condition know-alls.
Mm-hmm.
Running around with spreadsheets. You know the pricks I'm on about, don't you?
Okay, so I think some level of strength and conditioning is needed, right?
Yeah, but the trainer's going to know all that, what's needed, isn't he?
No, why would they? Most trainers are thick as 2 short planks for us.
Yeah, well, you don't need weights to be a boxer, do you? Boxers do core training, don't they? They should know themselves how to train anyway, shouldn't they, really?
Right. No. It's a bit more complicated than that, Russ. Because they're finely tuned machines, what you don't want to do is create imbalances. So I'll give you a good example of this. There's a guy in my gym, real old school boxer, used to box with Duke McKenzie as amateurs back in the day, right? He's got no hamstring strength and no like lower back strength. Boxed in the late 70s, early 80s, was a pro for a bit, is a strong man, looks in shape, but his hamstrings and his back are weak. Like most boxers, they don't train that stuff. Now, if I know that, then if a boxer also knows that and they fix that, now you got an advantage in the fight because now you're more solid. You can take shots better. You can throw shots better. So there's an advantage for it. But I think we've elevated these guys, and this is down to like Manny Pacquiao, Evander Holyfield as well back in the day. We've elevated these guys to like gurus. And I'm like, it's not that complicated. Just make sure your strength is balanced left and right, front and back, top and bottom. If you can do that, you're good. It doesn't need these complicated routines and, only eat cereal after 10 o'clock and, make sure you put your left sock on before your right. It doesn't need all of that. Boxing is not a physically hard sport in terms of effort. It really isn't. If you think about it, you're boxing for 12 rounds, so that's not even a half of football, right? You're getting hit. How many times are you getting hit as a heavyweight? 100 times you're getting hit.
You're gonna if you're doing 12 rounds as an heavyweight, you're gonna get clipped at least 120 times, 10 a round, aren't you? That's bog standard, isn't it?
But these are but it's of differing levels. Like they're not all hard shots. So you're not taking full-blooded shots 100 times in a fight. You're probably taking full-blooded shots about 30 times in a fight. Yeah. So you're throwing about 500 punches. It's not a lot of effort. Like physically, it's not. What makes boxing hard is the consequences of getting it wrong. Boxing makes you knackered because of the mental stress involved. So you don't have to be physically anything. You have to be mentally strong. And if your strength and conditioning program doesn't help make you mentally strong, doesn't make you more confident in the ring, you've defeated the purpose of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. What do you think to the Gad? Keeps doing sermons, doesn't he? Every day, he's 5, 6, 7 channels. Is he gonna conform, or is he just gonna end up like that all his media career? What do you think?
He served his time as a serious journalist already, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know. I've had a look online. Listen, he's a very educated bloke, and some articles that he's done over years have been massive. But when he comes from behind his A4 block of paper and his writing pen, and then he goes in front of the camera and he gets his tongue right up into the crevice of grown men in boxing. He's become annoying, and I want to wring his neck. Can you help me out? He's become annoying. He's annoying me. I will have to throw a drink on him if I see him at a show, because people will say, he's there, Russ. Come on, back your word up. I say, where is he? Right, go get me a pint of Stella in a plastic cup, and I'll just lot on him. He'll not get glassed, and I'll feel a lot better inside, because the guy's a fucking human prick.
Do you know what I'm not a fan of, Russ? I'm not a fan of middle-aged men doing stuff for social media attention. Like, we're from a different era.
Yeah. You know, when you've got Charlie Parsons doing an interview with the Gad, and for 5 minutes they're talking about, that's a nice cheeky jacket you've got on there, Gareth. What's that got to do with boxing? You know what I mean?
But you know what? I'm okay with Charlie Parsons doing what he does, because he's young, and fair enough. Like, this is the time to do it. All this other lot, it's embarrassing. Spencer Oliver's 50 this year. It's embarrassing when I see a lot of the stuff that goes on. Simon Jordan, it's all cringeworthy. But you see, you lot that call yourselves hardcores, man. Simon Jordan was your hero. It was embarrassing. I was embarrassed for all of you when you called him your hero. I'm like, this guy wasn't even talking boxing 3 years ago. Now all of a sudden,
I was one of them, Teddy, that was saying he was the saviour, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were. You said the same
I
about
lost my
Tevin
mind,
as well.
didn't I?
Yeah.
I lost my shit.
I tried to save you.
Yeah, you did. But I thought, the way he started out, Simon Jordan, I thought he was going to be that guy. And then as it unfolded, he's been buttered up, hasn't he, by them all, hasn't he? Eddie, Frank, you know, all the Furies, all of them, they've all buttered him up, haven't they? And he's ended up becoming a cheerleader, saying Fury's greatest, an all-time great. Sorry, I've got it here. He said he's an all-time great up there with Lennox Lewis, Fury. Well, Lennox has got 10 more wins over world champions than Fury. So how is Fury up there with Lennox? He's way behind, isn't he?
Let me just say this. Lennox Lewis dropped his hands against Shannon Briggs and said, I dare you to take me out. And when Briggs couldn't do it, he put Briggs on his backside. And that was a prime Shannon Briggs. That's Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis is a guy who was losing to Vitali and then just said, nah, you ain't going to end my career like this. And found something in his 38-year-old body to start setting about Vitali till he got stopped on that cut. And people say, oh, it was an unfair stoppage. That cut was nasty. It was a deserved stoppage.
He'd have been dead if he'd have carried on, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's Lennox Lewis for you. You can't put them in the same ballpark.
No.
You can't. I mean, Tyson, he's not that guy, man. And all you would have had to do was just listen to him himself.
Yeah.
The first 4 years of his career, he was telling you, half the time I'm happy with the world, the other half of the time I just want to smash things up. And he said it. He said, I don't know what the conditions call, but I know I've got something because this isn't normal. He was there and he said it in his own words. Me and my brothers all have the same issue, but we're travelers, so we don't talk about it. We just pretend it's not there. His wife said in her own words, his family have a history of depression. They're not fighting men. These are all nice people.
Mm. Well,
but the public chose to believe.
Well, I personally, I see where you're coming from. I just think, I think what they'll do, I think he'll just carry on what he's doing. He'll just get out in his mind because he slipped back into what he does best. Getting pissed up, going out partying and doing what else he does. And then after that, he'll come back and it'll be beating the drum again and they'll go again like we did after, when he had that time out before and lost all that weight. And it'll be the same old knackers. Just watch it unfold.
You at his age, you can't. He'll just get
away with it. So what will he do? Take the Usyk fight because he's got 40 million now in rematch. It says here, and Usyk's got 60. Is that because he won the first one, Usyk?
I think so, yeah.
So it's a 64. So Fury's not going to leave. He's had 50 million for the first one. He's now got 40 for the second. He's not going to leave that on table because there's too many people got an interest in getting him in that ring. And they're not bothered about him getting a good hiding. They want to get their slice of the 40 million, don't they?
Fury's 2 years younger than Lennox was when he fought Vitali, and he looks 10 years worse.
Yeah, he looks old, doesn't he?
Yeah. He looks like someone who hasn't dedicated themselves to their craft, who thought they could get by on their wits alone. Like, I've always thought that this Fury thing is a bit of a con. Like the Joshua thing's a bit of a con. And it was find the least risky way to just get all of this money and get these belts and get out. And Fury's problem is every so often you bump into a guy like Wilder or Usyk who just make it a bit harder than it needs to be.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see.
But do we need to hop over, mate?
Yeah, we'll go on to part 2 then, kid. All right, mate. Cheers.
All right, mate.
Oh, that was Terry in part 1. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Also, for all you sports fans out there, we've just had another video go out on Porky's International YouTube. Feel free to like and subscribe to that channel as well and leave a comment. And thank you very much. Just show a bit of respect, doesn't it? It gets Kevin off me back. Right, go on, pop, bang. We'll see you on part 2.